because of menopause, right? There's lack of sleep, there's mood swings, you're suddenly feeling anxious all the time, your cortisol levels are all-time high, right? So many factors, again, contribute to leading hair fall.
I saw this thing on Instagram which said that you inherit your dad's hair genes, and I'm like, oh, thanks, Dad. I'm going to be
Both dad and moms. Both dads and moms.
Oh, my dad has hardly any hair.
Oh, okay.
Hey, and welcome to the Forties Formula, your go-to place for insightful discussions on navigating the 40s and thriving in this transformative decade.
We're your hosts, Jasmin and Amanda, two women that are passionate about exploring the challenges and adventures that come with turning 40 and what lies ahead. So I feel like we've been super open on the 40s Formula about so many topics, right? We talk about menopause, we talk about Botox, we talk about sex, but there's still a topic that I think a lot of women are not ready to face and they feel really vulnerable about, and that's midlife hair thinning and hair loss. And more so how that affects how we feel about ourselves, how we feel about our appearance, and kind of how we present ourselves to the world. So we are so lucky to have board-certified trichologist Dr. Pooja Chhabra with us today, and she's going to help us talk through some of the most common issues in hair and skin and aesthetics and how we can do better. So welcome, Pooja.
Thank you so much, Jasmin and Amanda, for having me.
Yeah, we are so happy to have you.
I'm so glad to be here.
It's our pleasure.
And I think for many of us, right, and I'm talking from personal experience here, so you can definitely contradict me as the pro, but the first time we experience real hair loss is postpartum, right? That's the first time you see clumps of hair falling out, you feel it in the shower, you have your little ponytail that used to be a nice big ponytail, and you think, holy cow. And I hear from a lot of women that their hair loss kind of started at that time and then just kind of kept on going through menopause, right? And so then you end up with this like half head of hair. Can you talk us through the timeline for women's hair aging, if that's even a term, and what we might expect?
Yes, absolutely. So just to add in here that almost about 85% of women will face some or the other kind of hair or scalp issue by the age of 50.
Wow.
And almost about 50% will complain of some kind of hair fall issue by the age of 40.
Oh, wow.
So it's very, very common. And yes, postpartum is one of the major reasons why women go through hair fall. And then it sort of continues because you don't know how to manage it after a point of time. And then the androgenetic alopecia, which is the female pattern hair loss that kicks in. And also there are so many other factors such as nutritional deficiency, there's stress, lack of sleep. There's so many things that you're juggling with at the same time. And all of these factors, add in together and then they contribute to even more hair loss.
So you hit on lifestyle there, right? So nutrition, sleep. Are there specific nutrients or foods that we should be eating for better hair?
Yes, absolutely. So diet plays a very big role in taking care of your hair. And when it comes to hair, I always believe in a holistic approach. So not just one particular food type will help. You need to make sure that you're consuming enough protein in your diet, omega-3 fatty acids. You need to have enough antioxidants in your diet. So all of these things together actually help in improving your hair as well as your skin.
Well, amazing.
And by the way, those are all the things that as nutritionists we would recommend, right? Is we always say protein first, omega-3 make up the majority of your fatty acids, get your antioxidants. So that's good to hear that it's good for our hair as
and
well.
Our hair is 98% protein. It's made of keratin. So there's no way you can do without protein in your diet.
Oh, girl, preach on, okay? We could not talk enough about protein on this podcast, so we're very happy to hear that. So Jasmin, I don't know about you, but lately I've been struggling to keep up with the grocery shopping. Between work and the kids and everything in between, it feels impossible to plan healthy meals without constantly running to the store.
Oh my God, I know exactly what you mean. I feel like I've got everything and then bam, something's missing. So that's why I've started using the Meat Club.
Okay, tell me more. This sounds like a total lifesaver.
They deliver high quality meats, fish and fresh fruit and veggies straight to your door. No more last minute grocery runs or stressing about what to cook. And everything is top notch to help you create a healthy and balanced diet for yourself and your family. They even have a flexible subscription service too.
Okay, I just had a look, and that subscription service sounds amazing. You can get up to 15% off your basket, free mints for life on orders over $100. Plus, they offer over $160 worth of exclusive perks and give you the flexibility to edit your cart or change your delivery day anytime.
Just head over to the Meat Club and use our code TFF12 for 12% off your first order.
Just visit themeatclub.com.sg and give them a follow on Instagram at themeatclubsg for recipes, updates, and special offers.
Right, now let's get back to the chat. Do you know what I noticed? And I know you said that sort of the first serious hair loss problem was postpartum. For me, it was actually moving to Singapore. Oh. And I had lovely thick hair. No more. But seriously, when I moved to Singapore, and I think I see it a lot in the forums as well, women are complaining about the amount of hair they're losing. Does the climate also affect the way we lose hair?
Yes, it does. So when it comes to Singapore weather, because it is so hot and humid, there is a lot of dehydration that you feel throughout the day. And dehydration leads to dry scalp, itchy scalp. It also increases inflammation in your scalp. And that can ultimately lead to hair fall. When it also comes to water in Singapore, I also think that could be one of the factors, because the water here is chemically treated, and that can also lead to hair fall in certain cases as well. Yeah.
Oh, that is scary, you know. And I always wondered whether it was like the heat thing, because, you know, when it's the summer, dogs molt.
I was going to say you shed like a dog, but I didn't want to say it.
But yeah, basically, shedding like a dog.
Yep. But interesting you said about the water. So I remember a friend of mine got a special like shower head fit. Do you recommend stuff like that?
Is it like the vitamin C one? Because I think some people put vitamin C shower heads or...
No, I think just filtered water.
Just filtered, okay.
Yeah, that would be great if you can add on. Yes.
Okay, I know what I'm asking for Christmas.
Hey Amanda, you know how much I love clean, home-cooked food? There's just something about knowing exactly what goes into your meal, right?
Yeah, but let's also be real. Sometimes it's just not possible to cook at home with our busy schedules.
I know, but that's why I've been loving Guzman y Gomez. They've taken fast food and they've made it healthy. You get fresh quality ingredients, all cooked from scratch, no processed stuff, just real food.
Oh, I love that so much. So even when I cannot cook at home, I don't have to compromise on eating clean.
Yep, and GYG offers everything from burritos, bowls and salads packed with fresh veggies, lean meats and wholesome grains, and no added preservatives or artificial flavors.
And the best part for me is that it is fast, so you're not stuck waiting forever for a healthy meal when you're already in a rush.
Yep, for me, I love that I can customize my own meal too. I'll have a burrito bowl, no rice, double protein. Yes, please.
Just head to your nearest GYG or order delivery with ease through their Instagram and social media platforms at no price markups. Trust me, it is the perfect solution when you want something quick, healthy, and delicious, because clean is the new healthy.
Sounds like a win to me. Now let's get back to the chat.
Okay, get me a filter. Well, so that actually, okay, now we know filtered water is best for your hair. But in terms of like the actual products you put on your hair, see, this is something that I'm always mystified by, right? I go to the store, and again, I ain't fancy. So I see like Pantene, Herbal Essence, whatever. And I'm thinking like, this probably is not good for me, but how do I do better? Like, how do I look at a hair care product and know what's good for me?
So this is a very common problem. And so many people, I've seen so many patients who complain about this, that we see tens and thousands of products on the rack, and we don't know which one is going to work for us.
Nope. I go on smell, and I don't think I'm alone.
I'm with you on that.
So the best way to see what shampoo or conditioner would work for you, I'm going to give you a very good tip here. What you can actually do is you can do this quick hair porosity test.
Oh,
okay.
I want to hear.
Now, what happens with hair porosity test is this is basically to test how dehydrated or how damaged your hair is.
Okay.
Okay.
So our hair's pretty bad from bleaching.
But it's something that you can very quickly test on your own. You don't need any help from outside. Something very easily you can do it at home. And once you know how damaged your hair is, it's very easy for you to choose the products based on that.
Okay.
Okay, so as you know that our hair shaft has a cuticle, like a shield around it, right? When the cuticle opens up, that's when, our hair starts getting into split ends and it gets more damaged. So regular coloring, regular treatments will open up the cuticle of your hair, and it causes frizziness and dryness and damages your hair, right? When you do the hair porosity test, you can actually figure out how damaged it is. And based on that, you can choose the products. So the hair porosity test, how you do it is that you take a cup of water, take it in a transparent cup so you can see it. Take a strand of your hair, the hair that you're shedding. So when you just, pull a hair out of your
that's going to be
no
easy.
problem.
head, yes. Take a strand and dip it into the water. If the hair strand stays at the top of the water, that means it's of low porosity. If it is slightly in the middle, that's medium porosity. And then if it dips down, all the way down, then this is high porosity. And you do this for about 3 minutes. That's the observation time, right? If it dips deep down, that means the hair is highly porous. The cuticle is open. So that means your hair is damaged.
Which is not good, right?
Which
This
is
the
not good
one.
Yes. So that means you need to look for products where you can actually focus on damaged hair. Okay, and this is where you have to go for the sulfate-free shampoos.
Okay, and what does that mean, sulfate-free?
Okay, so sulfate is basically a surfactant, right? It's a cleansing agent.
Okay.
And a lot of shampoos and conditioners and even skincare products contain sulfate. Nothing wrong in it, okay? Very well studied ingredient, very well researched, absolutely safe, but it may not work for everybody. Right? So I absolutely don't believe in fear-mongering and, just telling people about, completely stay away from this one particular ingredient. It's never like that, right? You need to know what works for you and what doesn't work for you. So if you are somebody who has a very damaged hair, what sulfate would do is it will basically extract all the oil and the sebum out. Now, when your hair is already dehydrated and it's not able to retain any moisture and you're making it even more drier, that is going to cause further damage, right? So that's when you actually stay away from the sulfate and you go for a sulfate-free shampoo. And you go, you go looking for more hair masks and you add in a conditioner. You make sure that, you're always oiling your hair properly because you want to make sure that your cuticle is closed and it's working as a shield and it's protecting your hair, right? So very easy to test with this hair porosity test that I'm recommending.
I know what we're doing this afternoon.
Oh, yeah. Firstly, I'm going to go checking all the bottles.
Yes, and then you can sort of navigate, what will work better for you.
Amanda, I'm going to be honest with you. Sometimes my kids just don't poo.
For real, I actually hear you. With 2 little ones and a baby, the poop situation around our house is very, very real. But since we started taking Probiotic Plus Base from Akizi Wellness, it's actually gotten a lot better.
Probiotic Plus Base is such an easy way to get 10 probiotic species and a good hit of prebiotic fiber into your entire family's diet. And you can sprinkle it on yogurt, mix it into cereals, and even combine it into infant milk products.
Yeah, when my son transitioned onto formula and had some weird tummy troubles, it was a lifesaver. And to be honest, for me, I don't mind taking a spoonful of it right into my mouth when I'm pressed for time.
We all love a quick fix that actually works, right? That's why we're offering our lucky Singapore listeners 15% off and free shipping all Akizi products with code 40s on akiziwellness.com.
That's Akizi Wellness, AKESI Wellness.com to get a great deal on an easy gut health solution for the whole family. And now, back to the show. And you just mentioned, right? So we all are familiar with the skincare routine, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, of, cleanse, tone, moisturize, whatever, right? So you just mentioned hair, shampoo, you mentioned hair, shampoo, conditioner, hair mask.
Yes.
So I'm already like, hair mask, that's not something I've ever tried.
Actually,
are you a hair mask person?
But I'm a lazy hair mask person because I'm using it's one of those ones which says it's an all-in-one. You can use it as a leave-in conditioner, a hair mask, or...
Like a hair oil.
Yeah. And so
Okay.
I basically use it instead of a conditioner. So I don't know.
But
am I
you leave
doing
it in?
Well,
Or you don't? You wash it
sometimes
off?
if I have, I now have it in the shower, whereas before it wasn't in the shower. So then I would be like, I forgot to put it on, so I'll leave it in.
Yeah, so now at least you've moved it to the mainstream. But and you mentioned hair oiling as well. So
Yes.
so can you talk us through what's an ideal hair care routine? Like what product, what type of product should we be using in what order?
Okay, so I cannot tell you a hair care routine in general because it is so
'Cause it's super-
specific
okay.
and so personalized
Yeah.
depending on your hair and scalp condition.
Yeah, I would assume the three of us have very different.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. Yes. So, but when it comes to the general rule, I do recommend using a conditioner after every wash,
Okay.
and I recommend using hair mask at least 2 times in a week.
Okay.
I need to change it up then.
Yes. So after you do the conditioning and you wash your conditioner, after that you apply your hair mask.
Oh,
You
okay.
leave it on for about 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how much time you have, and then you wash it off.
Okay.
And after that, if you're blow drying your hair, always apply like a heat protectant, serum.
Guilty, I don't do
or
it.
yes, something that can sort of form a shield on your hair because when you expose your hair to so much of heat, that can also damage your hair.
Okay.
Right? So, and hair styling and drying is something that we absolutely cannot avoid.
Yeah.
Right? And especially in Singapore, you absolutely cannot avoid it. You have to use a blow dryer. Especially when you're waking up in the morning, you're rushing to work, you have to use it.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Otherwise, you
But-
end up with total
Total frizz.
frizzy
Yeah,
hair.
there is
Exactly,
no. Yeah, air drying
yes.
in the Singapore humidity does not exist.
Exactly.
So you mentioned hair oiling as well. So
Yes.
this is something. So when you mentioned hair oiling to me in our pre-air chat, I was thinking like when I went to get an Ayurvedic massage in Sri Lanka and they like poured oil onto my hair and just left it there. And I was like,
That
and-
sounds
and
amazing.
It sounds amazing for hair that is not mine because that oil took a week to get out of my hair. Like, because I think my hair is very porous and damaged. And so I was like, oh, this does not work. This style of massage does not work for me. But talk to me about what hair oiling is as a practice.
Okay. Again, not every hair oil can be suitable for all hair types or scalp types, right? If you have dandruff or if you have eczema prone skin or if you have psoriasis or any other kind of condition on your scalp, let your trichologist recommend you what treatment you need to follow. So oiling is not for everybody. If you already have a very oily scalp, again, I don't recommend using oils, when you already have very overactive sebaceous glands, right? But if you are somebody who has a normal scalp type, normal to dry, then oiling can be great for you. I do recommend using an almond oil or castor oil or rosemary oil. Rosemary oil actually shows very good results in terms of hair growth. I recommend using it at least about 3 times in a week, about half an hour to 45 minutes before you shampoo.
Oh.
Because that's
so on dry
enough
hair?
Yes, on dry hair, and that's enough time for the oil to get absorbed into your scalp. And what oiling actually does is that when you're applying the oil and when you're doing the massage, it increases blood flow towards your scalp. And when you get enough blood supply towards your hair follicles, it gets all the nutrition that it needs and it grows properly. Yeah.
That's I heard the term hair oiling, but never knew that it was like a dry hair thing.
I did. Again, we're Indian. And so my mum is always, and my sister are always telling me, you need to put oil in your hair. The thing is, it's a process, isn't it? So it's like you need to have either someone help you do it because then you get a nice massage out of it, or you need to have the time to sort of get it in. Is there a quick way of doing it? Like, could you just put some oil on your hands, sort of just rub it in your hair, or does it need to be massaged into the scalp?
Actually, you don't have to massage it for too long.
Okay.
Only about 5 minutes is enough. Yeah. And gentle massage, gentle pressure. You don't have to rub it in. Make sure that your hair is not getting tangled. You don't have to be very harsh with the massaging. Gentle massage only for about 5 minutes and leave it for about 45 minutes and then you wash. So it's not as difficult a process. Also, if you think that you don't have, the time to do it, what you can do is you can apply it a night before you go to sleep, and then in the morning you wash it off.
See, that would be more my
Yeah,
style.
I
It's
think
just
that
like
would
throw
work.
it on, throw a cap,
Yes.
call it a night.
Yes. So you apply it just before you're going to sleep. Apply it. Do a nice massage. It'll actually help you relax also.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be
And
nice
then-
if I can get someone else to do it for me.
Yeah,
Yes.
someone else. Aman, are you listening? That's you are someone else. So that just brought. We're going to go off script here for a moment, Dr. Pooja. So just made me think of. So right down the street from me, they just opened this new Korean head spa, right? And I feel like this is like a thing in Asia, like these Korean head spas. As a certified trichologist, should we indulge in the Korean head spa? Is it doing more good or more harm than good? Like what, how is that process? Where does that fall into your hair care recommendations?
Okay, so the different ways of doing a head spa, right? I am not sure what products are they exactly using, what
I don't
ingredients
think
are
any of
there
us
in
are
that
sure what they're using.
in that product. So very difficult for me to comment on that. But in general, hair spa is actually quite good in terms of, really, again, increasing blood supply towards your scalp because you're getting enough amount of massage. There's a proper cleansing going on. They usually do a double, shampoo.
Yes.
So making your scalp clean is, again, it's a big part of keeping healthy hair and healthy scalp.
Okay.
Yeah. So in general, I don't see any problem with it. Yeah. You can go ahead with it as long as there are no chemical treatments and too much of heat tools involved in the hair spa.
Yeah.
What about just general washing? Do you recommend daily washing of hair, once a week, twice a week? Like, is there an ideal amount of time you should be washing your hair?
Okay, so if you have a very oily scalp and you have a dandruff-prone scalp, I recommend washing it every day.
And that's because you always hear people say washing your hair every day is not good for you. So is that...
So again, this advice cannot be true for everybody, right? For somebody who has a very oily scalp and you wash today and your hair is looking oily again tomorrow, you will need a wash. And if you're somebody who's working out every single day and you're sweating so much, this profuse sweating.
Who could you be speaking to? Not us.
Yeah.
So just slicking it back and tying it up.
Is that okay?
Yes. So you will have to wash it. If you don't wash it, because of so much of sweating and overactive sebaceous glands, there's a very high chance you'll end up getting infection. You'll end up getting a bacterial infection on your scalp.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's something
Never
known as
thought of that.
folliculitis that you can get if you don't wash your hair regularly, especially if you have an overactive sebaceous gland. So yes, depending on the scalp type, if you have normal, scalp type, it doesn't get oily very easily. You can, go with like 2 to 3 washes in a day, in a week.
Yeah.
That's also fine. And if you have an extremely dry scalp, I would always recommend doing oiling before you do the wash.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not necessarily the frequency of washing so much as like your
Yes.
individual scalp and what you've done before.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay. Now, we talk so much about the hair aspect, right? The hair. But I've heard you keep talking about the scalp.
Yes.
Right? So
Yes.
is hair health really about scalp health first?
Yes, they're very much interrelated. And your scalp is basically the foundation of how healthy your hair is going to be. So your hair can only be as healthy as your scalp, right? So just how you take care of your skin, similarly, you need to take care of your scalp also. And you need to understand your scalp type, whether it's oily or dry or sensitive or dehydrated. And based on that, you choose the products for your hair and for your scalp. And that's how you go about it.
Yeah. So personalization is definitely the way, right?
Definitely, yes.
One thing I've noticed is, like I mentioned before, I had quite thick hair. But since going through perimenopause, my hair has really started thinning out. What is the reason behind hair loss in this phase of life?
So during menopause, we are going through a lot of changes with hormones, especially, right? Our estrogen levels fall down drastically during menopause. And that's one of the reasons why the hair cycle gets disturbed. So what happens is our hair grows in a certain cycle. So there are 3 stages of hair cycle, which is the hair growth stage, the anagen stage, then comes the catagen stage, and then the hair fall stage, which is the telogen stage, right? The shedding of hair. Now, because of the fall in the estrogen levels, the cycle gets disturbed. So our hair instantly from the hair growth stage gets pushed into the telogen stage, which is the hair shedding phase. So you're suddenly dropping lots and lots of hair, right? And also what happens during menopause is that there's an increase in your androgen hormone, specifically the testosterone. So when there's free testosterone in the body, that gets converted into a byproduct, which is known as the DHT, dihydrotestosterone. And this is the main culprit in both males and females for causing androgenic alopecia or female pattern hair loss, right? So because of all of these changes that you're going through, and also there are so many symptoms that you're managing because of menopause, right? There's lack of sleep, there's mood swings, you're suddenly feeling anxious all the time, you're cortisol levels are all-time high, right? So many factors, again, contribute to leading hair fall.
I saw this thing on Instagram which said that you inherit your dad's hair genes, and I'm like, oh, thanks, Dad. I'm going to be
Both dad and moms. Both dads and moms.
Oh, my dad has hardly any hair.
Oh, okay. Well, it's funny that you said that because I'm thinking of like my husband's father. Because my husband, you know Tyler's hair. It's just, he has the thickest, most lush model head of hair.
So lucky.
So does his dad.
So lucky.
Unsurprising, right? So the boys, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Our boys.
Yeah. Unfortunately, my dad's has gone. My husband's has gone. So I posted it on Instagram the other day, but I was reading out to my son who was sitting there eating an ice cream, and I said, oh, I'm really sorry, Kyan, but you're going to inherit your dad's hair. And my husband's bald. He started crying because he's a 9, but he wants to have a good head of hair.
Yeah, don't we all?
No, he can. And okay, so when it comes to genetics, there's a very beautiful line that I read that genetics could be your trigger, but you pull the gun.
Yes.
Right? So even though there is a genetic factor, you can very well take care of it and you can very well prevent it. In today's day and age, nothing is, not preventable, right? So I very strongly believe that with the right kind of lifestyle, with the right kind of nutrition and using the right kind of products, you can very well manage hair fall. And this is not something that should be bothering you so much and should be taking away your self-confidence and taking away your self-worth. So hair is not something that you should, really focus in terms of relating it to your self-image, right? It's something that you can very easily tackle.
Yeah. And I think that is something as women, right? We really do put a lot of stock in our hair, just the way it looks, the length of it, and that's why when it does start to fall, it feels like something's breaking down, right? In your femininity.
Because you relate it so much to your self-image and how you look and how it changes your personality. You can very easily see how much it psychologically affects people, especially when they're losing their hair, right? But it is something that you can do. You can take care of. Yeah. So you don't have to worry so much about what am I going to do about this versus, okay, I can go to an expert and I can get the advice and do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things and I can take care of it.
Yeah. And that is so reassuring.
Yeah. Yes.
Again, it's so great to have a trichologist now in our network because I can't say that I had any knowledge of this area before. So it's really helpful. So obviously, you're amazing at hair, okay, but I do know that you're also a businesswoman and you're also running a successful Asian skincare line. Can you talk to us about a skincare routine? So kind of my same question previously about the hair routine, right? So, okay, now we know we need shampoos, conditioners, hair masks. What do we need to do with our skin? What's all this going to benefit from? What am I missing, okay?
So I very strongly believe that your skincare and your hair care should be as easy and as simple to follow so that you really follow it through and you can be disciplined about it. If it is something which is extremely complicated and it's going to take like half a day, I highly recommend don't do it.
Ain't nothing happening for half a day except my kids, So I hear you.
Yes. So skincare, it was actually started, so me and my sister, both of us started the skincare line, Nuske Skincare. And our main focus was to really focus on self-love and really focus on making sure that, we pass on the ancient remedies and the rituals because India is so full of beautiful and effective ancient remedies that people have forgotten about. And we wanted to bring that to the millennials, to the Gen Zs.
And the Zillennials.
And the Zillennials, yes. And make sure that, you can use it in an easy, fuss-free manner and in the most effective way possible. So what we have really done with Nuske is that we have combined the old age remedies with the actives, we've brought them together and then we give you the best of both the worlds. Yes.
Oh, amazing.
Yes. So when it comes to skincare, again, our main focus is to make sure that your skin is hydrated, it's well nourished, it's protected, and then you focus on whatever needs to be repaired, right? If you can just work on these 3 basic principles, you will not have to worry about like 10,000, skincare products and 10 skincare steps and like
these 9-step skincare routines that you see on TikTok, right? Where it's like ain't nobody got time for 9 steps. Like I got a maximum
it's
3.
Not sustainable. And whatever is not sustainable will not be followed through, right? So you make it as per your routine and focus on these main aspects. So if you have a sunscreen in your skincare routine, if you have a good cleanser in your skincare routine, and if you have actives in your skincare routine, overall I think you're good to go.
Okay. Yeah. That's so reassuring to hear.
Yeah.
I can handle that.
Yes.
And in terms of sunscreen, right, I feel like there's like now this whole backlash against sunscreen. Yeah. Like if we wear too much sunscreen, it's going to affect our vitamin D absorption and all this stuff. What's your overall opinion on sunscreen?
Sunscreen is absolutely 100% necessary. You cannot do without it. Even if you are indoors, I highly recommend using a sunscreen. And when it comes to vitamin D absorption, vitamin D cannot be just absorbed from the face, right? We mostly just apply sunscreen on the face, although we should be applying it on our hands and all the exposed areas. But most people only end up applying on their face.
Guilty.
Like one that run currently.
Yes, but we need to apply it on all the exposed areas. But for vitamin D absorption, firstly, you have to be really in the sun early in the morning, and you have to be, expose maximum amount of your body to the sunlight, right? For the absorption to really happen. Yeah. And how many people are actually doing that?
Yeah. I mean, definitely, again, my husband actually is. He's Mr. Vitamin D.
Amazing,
so he will go outside, walk the kids to school, like until we get to school with no shirt.
Well,
right. Then he'll put a shirt on and we walk into the school. My kids go to school in a temple, by the way. It's like he definitely cannot approach with no shirt. But
but very few people actually end up doing
an outlier,
that.
Yes.
Yeah, so please get your vitamin D supplements, yes, and make sure you apply sunscreen. Yeah. Yes, because you need to protect yourself from all the harmful radiations. And sunscreen is not just going to protect you, it is also great for anti-aging. Right? So if one thing that you can really work towards preventive skincare, it's actually sunscreen.
Well, we have really enjoyed the conversation today, Dr. Pooja. I mean, not only have you given us tips, but you've given us kind of ideas, remedies, ways to fix what we're already doing or improve. So thank you.
Definitely doing that test today.
Yeah, I'm floating my hair in a jar the second I get home. But everyone's final question here on the Forties Formula is, what is your Forties Formula? If there was some nugget of advice that you could give to women in this decade about living their finest, best, healthiest lives, what would it be?
Okay, so I really feel that 40s is actually a very powerful stage, right? And this is a stage where you have already gone through a lot of emotions. You've already gone through a lot of ups and downs. So now you already know, and you're very much self-aware of the things that you want in your life and the things that you want to get rid of, right? So at this stage, I want to request all the women in this particular stage that instead of being self-critical, be self-aware, okay? So when you look in front of the mirror and when you're doing your skincare and when you're doing your hair care, instead of focusing on the pigmentation and the fine lines and the receding hairline and how much your hair fall is happening, focus on really looking in the mirror and just reaffirming and reassuring yourself that, you are here today to take care of everything. And change your negative thoughts into positive. Reframe your negative thoughts. So instead of saying that, oh, look at the fine lines, say that today I'm going to take care of these fine lines. Instead of looking at the pigmentation marks and say that, oh my God, my skin looks so dull, focus on saying that, okay, today I'm going to tackle this with my vitamin C. Right?
Yeah.
So the moment you change your focus and you make these mindful choices, you're going to enjoy this beautiful phase and you're going to love it even more.
Oh, from self-critical to self-care.
I love that. I think that's just such a beautiful thing to say. And I think, everyone can definitely adopt this mindset for sure.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being with us, Dr. Pooja.
Thank
we hope
you.
To have
I
you
had
again.
a beautiful time. I had a lovely time chatting with you guys.
Okay, this postpartum hair loss is killing me. I feel like all I see these days after my shower is my own hair clogging up the drain.
Oh, I feel you. Perimenopause is doing a number on my hair too.
And whether it's something as major as hormonal hair loss or just wanting to work on your split ends, your hair regrowth, or a healthier scalp, Dr. Pooja Chhabra at Scalp Wellness can help.
Dr. Pooja is a board-certified trichologist who makes sure everyone has access to expert advice and care when it comes to our hair, offering individualized, lifestyle-focused solutions through her one-on-one consultations.
There's no one way to get better hair, which is why a personal approach is always the best bet if you're serious about your scalp. Visit www.scalpwellness.com to book a consultation with Dr. Pooja and start working toward the hair you've always wanted, or in my case, the hair that I need back.
Oh, I hear you. And that's www.scalpwellness.com. Guys, you know how much we love coffee. And if you want to show us some love, you know you can get us one.
Just visit buymeacoffee.com/the40s formula. Cheers. Before we go, please remember to hit subscribe and take a moment to support the 40s formula by leaving a review on your favorite podcast platform.
Your reviews will help us to reach more people and allow us to continue to bring valuable content. It should only take a moment, and it's a free way for you to support the show.
You can also stay updated with the 40s formula by following us on Instagram at the 40s formula, all one word. We share behind-the-scenes insights, episode updates, and much more, so please be sure to hit that follow button.
We appreciate your time and support. Thank you for being part of this community, and we'll be back next week for more empowering conversations with inspiring guests.
Bye.
Bye.
How's your breakfast, by the way?
Sorry?
How was your breakfast?
Breakfast was amazing.
Very
You want to
good.
hear me?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
he's double checking.
Yeah, sound check.
Breakfast was omelette.
Nice.
Fancy breakfast. Guess what mine was?
I'm
Same
going to
thing I always
guess
have.
beef with eggs.
Beef with eggs and wrapped in a taco shell. We joke. So one of our sponsors is actually the Meat Club, and so I always joke like the thing I use from the Meat Club is the beef mince because I eat it every morning for breakfast. The
I
same
hope you've signed up and
breakfast.
got their free. You know you can get free
Free
mints for
mince?
life.
I do.
Yes.
I do. But yeah.